Assalamu alaikum class 6. Take out your books and open page number 45. Today we will start our new chapter, The Paper Makers 1. Firstly, I will read a paragraph and you listen to me carefully. Now I start the chapter, The Paper Makers 1. Can you tell the difference between a bee and a wasp? At first sight, these little insects are quite like each other. At first touch too they are alike, for each may give you a very sharp sting. In many ways, however, the wasp and the bee are unlike. The wasp has a thinner and longer body than a bee. It is more brightly colored too and is much less hairy. Now class, come to the page number 43. You know of course that most bees live in warm well-made hives. Why is that we never hear the wasp hives? The answer is easy. Bees make honey and are given hives so that the beekeeper may gather the honey for use as food. Wasps do not make honey, so they are left to make homes for themselves. We need not be sorry for the wasps because their houses are very good ones indeed. Come to the next paragraph. If you have lived in the country at any time, you may have seen a wasp's nest. Most often, wasps make their nest in holes in the ground, but sometimes you may find one hanging in the sheltered spot under the edge of a roof. It looks something like a lantern of grey paper. Come to the next paragraph. Some wasps build their nest of paper in a tree. The door is at the bottom. If the wall is cut away, the inside of this house of many wonders can be seen. Now class, turn your page and open page number 44. In early spring, a mother wasp or queen wasp as she is called, wakes from her long winter sleep. When she has chosen a place for her nest, she begins building at once. Her nest is made of paper. Where does she get the paper? She makes it herself by chewing up tiny bits of wood which she has scraped from some tree's trunk or fence post. Although the nest is made of paper, it is strong enough to keep out rain and wind. Men have been glad to take a lesson in paper making from the wasp. Today, most of our newspapers are printed on paper made from wood. Yet our paper makers cannot make out of wood any papers as fine as that made by these clever little insects. Class 6, we will start the second part of this chapter, which is the Paper Makers 2. Reading for this chapter, you have to come on page number 45. When the nest is strong enough, the mother wasp builds a few cells in it. These cells, which are really small rooms, are quite like the cells of a bee's honeycomb, except that they are made of paper, not of wax. In each cell, the queen wasp lays a tiny white eggs. After a week or more, these eggs hatch out of become wasp grubs. The grub spins a silken cover over its cell and rests for a short time. Another week passes and a grub turns into young wasps ready to climb out of their cells for the first time. Class 6, turn your page and all this time the mother wasp has been very busy. She has had to make the nest larger and she has had to build more cells in which to lay more eggs. Besides, she has had to find food for the hungry young grubs. Now class, come to the page number 47. It is good thing for her that her children are soon able to help with the housework. At first, the young wasp had to look after the grubs which are still in their cells. Later, they fly off in search of food for the nest, or to fetch tiny wood shaving with which to make their home bigger. What do wasps eat? Like bees, they sip the sweet nectar of flowers, although they do not use it to make honey. The juices of ripe fruit, are stolen jam and honey are also very welcome food. Wasps often do harm to the fruit in an orchard. That is why a gardener burns down a wasp's nest whenever he finds one. Perhaps the gardener forgets that the wasps eat many small insects which also do harm to the fruit. When summer is over and the cold winds of winter blow, the wasps find themselves short of food, for they have no store of honey. Before long they begin to die of cold and hunger. Class 6, turn your page and come to the page number 48. A few daughter wasps who have been better fed than the others in the nest live through the winter in some sheltered corner. When spring comes to call the earth to life again, each of these becomes a queen wasp and begins to build a nest for herself. क्लास 6 चैप्टर द पेपर मेकर 1 एंड 2 के ये वर्ड्स हैं. इन वर्ड्स की मीनिंग आप ऑक्सफोर्ड डिक्शनरी से ख़ुद सर्च करके लेकर आएंगे और ये वर्ड्स मीनिंग आपको कॉपी में करके लानी है और आप सिर्फ उसमें से सर्च करेंगे जो कि डिक्शनरी आपके पास मौजूद है. ऑक्सफोर्ड डिक्शनरी से ही सर्च करके लाएंगे. ठीक है.